Hello YouTube, my name is Nero and welcome to this week's episode of Dear Nero, which of course is a weekly series here on my channel where you guys send me in fan mail and or fan questions. And I do my best to go ahead and answer them. My sleep schedule, man, has been so off lately. It is currently 4 o'clock in the afternoon as I'm trying to record this, and Dear Nero is usually a very long video. So it takes a long time to record it, then you gotta edit it, then you gotta render it, then you gotta upload it, and usually it takes a very, very long time. And we had a lot of questions this week, because last week, we didn't have a ton of questions. And I said, you guys, send me a personal message here. We got Dear Nero. If you want long Dear Neros, we're gonna need more questions. And you guys definitely did not freaking skimp on the questions. There were a ton. There was an absolute ton of questions sent in to me this week. So I figured what we're going to do is I picked out a lot of the shorter ones. A lot of these were kind of long, and some of the ones in this episode are going to be a bit longer. But I'm going to do my best to not, drown on with my answer and try and give you kind of rapid fire responses to try and get through all these questions in kind of a timely manner so that hopefully this won't be a 40-minute long video. Alright, sound good? Sound good? Alright, so we got some Black Ops 2 gameplay for you guys. In my last video, I started talking about Call of Duty Ghosts vs. Black Ops 2, and a lot of you expressed your wants to have some more Black Ops 2 content on my channel. So here you are. We're going to start you off with some Black Ops 2 gameplay, and then we will transition into whatever else kind of gameplay I got on my computer. I don't know yet. I don't know what the gameplay is going to be yet, but hopefully it'll be something good. Alright, let's hop into the first question here. He's going to write, Dear Nero, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Titanfall based on weapon balance, maps, game mechanics, and the skill gap? As always, keep up the great work. Cal from Ohio. So Cal, I think I'm going to give Titanfall an 8 out of 10. Now 10 is an absurd number. I don't think I would give any game a 10 out of 10. That would just be perfect. It'd be a flawless game. No quirks, no kinks, nothing wrong with it at all. I'm going to give it an 8. Not even a 9, but an 8, because I would like to see a couple things change in Titanfall. 1, I would like to see the R101C carbine get a bit of a nerf. 2, I would like to actually see private matches be implemented into the game. I think that'd be a fantastic thing, and maybe a little bit more customization, like kind of like a weapon camo idea. I think those 3 things together would make Titanfall even better. Maybe bump it up from an 8 to a 9, but 8 is still on my scale, which is completely arbitrary. It makes no sense. 8 on my scale is a fantastic score. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, if you're thinking about expanding your channel and you like Pokemon, why not consider doing some competitive battling? I have a lot of fun doing it, and I think you and your subs would enjoy it too. Nick from Newfoundland. So Nick, it appears you are unaware of youtube.com/Nero's Let's Plays, where I have full playthroughs of Pokemon Ruby and Pokemon Fire Red and parts of Pokemon Soul Silver and Pokemon Yellow, as well as some Pokemon Showdown battling. Yes, lots of stuff on Nero's Let's Plays. While I keep talking about my sleep schedule being awful, that's like the biggest reason why there hasn't been a video on Nero's Let's Plays in 5 days. Oh god, I'm so sorry. I need to start recording more. I need to record more Game Dev Tycoon. I would like to start doing a Pokemon ROM hack playthrough of some sort. Oh god, I'm so sorry guys. Nero's Let's Plays, I'll get back on it. It'll be top of the priority list, but just give me a day or two and Nero's Let's Plays will be kicking again. We get some more DayZ standalone up there too. I like Nero's Let's Plays. Fun channel. Fun stuff going on over there. Link in the description. Next question. He writes, Dear Nero, I've been playing Black Ops 2 lately, and I just refreshed all my stats. But I'm getting into lobbies with quickscopers. My win-loss ratio and my KD ratio are going down because of their infinite range one-shot boomsticks. Wow, that doesn't roll off the tongue, right? Any tips on how I can play against these guys? This person did not leave his or her name. So Mr. or Miss who's having trouble with the quickscopers. I've never had trouble with quickscopers. I don't think I've ever actually heard anyone say that my win-loss and my KD is going down because I'm facing snipers. My win-loss and my KD go up because I'm playing snipers. I guess the key to it is keep moving. Huh? Use counter UAVs? Throw some EMP grenades at them. Snipers hate that. Do that. I don't know. I really have no issues with them. I think the main thing is to stay mobile. Maybe put adjustable stock if you're using an assault rifle so you can keep on strafing, so it makes you a lot harder of a target to hit. And yeah, those are my tips. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, there are rumors flying around the internet saying that Activision will partner with Sony instead of Microsoft because the PS4 sales and Microsoft has been pushing Titanfall more than Call of Duty. I wanted to know how this would affect you as a YouTuber. Connor from Virginia. So Connor, you're talking about the idea that the DLC will be coming out for the PlayStation first, like from here on out. How would that affect me as a YouTuber? None whatsoever. Wouldn't affect me at all. Uh, I make videos of the Call of Duty DLC, right? And they come out, and they usually do above average. Like, they usually do above average as a video, but they don't break the bank. You know, they're not super duper ridiculous great videos. And you know, all things considered, if I were to spend the money to buy a PlayStation 4 just so I can make videos of the DLC as they come out, I would take a hit on that. I would take a loss on that. I would not, the money I would make from those videos would not equal out to the money that would cost me to make a PS4, and so I wouldn't really care. You know, if anything, I could, you know, I have tons of friends here on YouTube. I have tons of subscribers. You guys can, maybe even if you guys have PlayStation stuff, you guys send me in your stuff, and I can still make videos about the stuff as it comes out. Even if it comes out first on the PS4, you know, it wouldn't be an issue for me if they were to go over the PlayStation. Personally, I would like to see it stay on both. You know, it shouldn't be just on the 360 or just on Microsoft, excuse me. It shouldn't be just on PlayStation. It should be on both. But if they decide to go to the PlayStation and give them the DLC a month early, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, why do you hate Modern Warfare 3 so much? It was my first Call of Duty and I still play it and I still enjoy it. P.S. You're my favorite YouTuber. P.S. Your videos are awesome. Chase from California. So the reason I hate Modern Warfare 3 so much. Number 1, it's an Infinity Ward game. Number 2, it's green. Every map is green, dark, dreary, hazy, and gross. Number 3, all the weapons kill you in like 3 shots. Number 4, the spawn system is complete ass. Number 5, death streaks. Alright? Number 6, support streaks. Alright? I have 6 answers already. I'm not going to go any further. Yeah, I don't like Modern Warfare 3. Worst Call of Duty in my opinion. Hate it. Next question. He writes, Dear Nero, I'm just wondering if you like professional wrestling. Did you watch it as a kid? Do you still watch it? And who are some of your favorite wrestlers? Thank you. Justin from Virginia. So Justin, I do not watch professional wrestling. I used to watch it when I was a kid. I used to watch the WWF as well as the WCW. That time it was the Attitude Era. Some of my favorite wrestlers were Matt and Jeff Hardy. You had Stone Cold Steve Austin. You had Kane and The Undertaker. You had in the WCW, you had Sting and you had Rey Mysterio. Then you had the whole Wolfpack thing with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. There was a lot of cool wrestlers back then. I occasionally look at what's going on with wrestling like now, and I don't know who any of the people are, and it's like, this is stupid. Yeah, because all the cool people that I used to watch back in the day are all like old and retired, or they are so old that the WWE doesn't want them, and they're over at TNA or something. I don't know. I don't like it very much anymore, but back in the day, huge wrestling fan. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I know you love Pokemon, and that Pokemon was one of the first series that you started playing. What was one of the first series you started playing that wasn't Pokemon? Noah from Washington. So Noah from Washington, my first console was the Sega Genesis, and I would play Sonic the Hedgehog a lot. After that, I got the PlayStation 1 as well as the PlayStation 2, in which I would play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, I would play Dave Mirra's Pro BMX, I would play the SmackDown series, which was a wrestling game, tying in the last question. I would play Madden, I would play Medal of Honor, definitely Medal of Honor. I think those are the main series of games that I would play. And yeah, they're all pretty good. What's kind of a fun fact is that Medal of Honor series on the PlayStation was what kind of created Call of Duty. So that's kind of a fun fact. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, if you had to name your top 5 guns in any Call of Duty game, what would they be? Mason from Minnesota. So Mason, I'm going to have a video discussing that tomorrow. You're just going to have to wait for it. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, what is your favorite Zombies character from the original 4? Keep up the great work. Berkey Fan from Ohio. So Berkey Fan, I would say my favorite one probably be Tank Dempsey. Hoorah. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I was wondering when and if you plan on quitting YouTube anytime soon. I hope not, but anyway, I love your videos and keep up the great work. And this person did not leave his or her name. Do I plan on quitting YouTube anytime soon? No. Do I plan on quitting YouTube ever? No. We talked about on Twitter the other day with how YouTube's been going and just a basis around which YouTube was created and how it's going, how profitable the YouTube is. I can see myself doing YouTube 20 years from now. I really can. Some people say well, do you really think you're going to keep your subscribers interested for 20 years? But the thing about that is, it's like, subscribers kind of come and go. And I'm okay with that. If you guys want to watch me, you can watch me. If you guys want to leave, you guys can leave. I'm okay with that. Because at the end of the day, my channel's not built around subscribers. Right, my channel, you want to know a fun fact about my channel? I just hit 20 million views the other day. 9% of that, 9, was from my own subscribers. The 91% of it was from people finding me in search results and related videos and things like that. So I can continue to do YouTube for a very long time. I could have no subscribers. I could continue to do YouTube for a very long time. That's just kind of how my channel works. My channel brings in long tail like crazy. And I can see myself doing this for 20 years or so. And if people want to watch, they can watch. If they want to leave, they can leave. It really depends on how long YouTube keeps going up. But YouTube's a multi-billion-dollar business that I don't see going away anytime soon. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, you said in a couple videos that you like to watch the Pokemon anime. My question to you is, which is your favorite episode that you have watched in the anime? Galen from New York. So I'm not even all the way through, like the first Indigo League one. So far, my favorite one was the Widow's Peak one. It was like really creepy, and there was ghosts, and there was a Ghastly and whatnot. I also like the fighting episode that had Primeape and Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, because I think those are like the only times you see Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. All the episodes so far are actually just pretty good. I feel like I'm freaking 10 years old again since they put Pokemon on Netflix. I mean, they didn't even stretch it out to the 16:9 aspect ratio. It's still in the 4:3. And it is just fantastic. I love watching it. It makes me feel like I'm a kid, because I remember seeing this stuff when I was a kid, and like a lot of it that I don't remember, and then some of it I do remember, and it's just, I love it. It's so much fun to watch. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, if you could create a kill streak or a weapon that would be in the next Treyarch Call of Duty game, what would you pick and what would it do? Keep up the great work, Evan from Massachusetts. So Evan, I'm going to go completely unoriginal on this and say I wouldn't create any kind of a kill streak. I would just make sure that certain kinds of things are back in the next game. Number one, I want to make sure that a form of Blackbird and or Orbital VSAT would be in the next Treyarch game, because anytime there's a Blackbird or a VSAT up, oh, the game is just fantastically fun for me. And if I could bring in any gun, I would probably bring back a Tommy gun. A nice World War II round drum Thompson submachine gun. That's what I would like to see in the next Treyarch game. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I was wondering if you have ever solved a Rubik's Cube, and if so, how fast? Sincerely, Mr. Ninja Fat Kid. That is a weird name, Mr. Ninja Fat Kid. Have I ever solved a Rubik's Cube? No. Have I ever come close to solving a Rubik's Cube? No. My friend SB Blue Bob, on the other hand, is actually really into what he calls cubing with Rubik's Cubes. He can complete them in like under a minute or something ridiculous like that. So if you guys go to my channel, and over on the right hand side there's like related channels, I have all my friends in there. I've got Cypher and Toucan and Foxhound and Blue Bob and everyone else in there, right? Wildcat and all them. You go there, go to Blue Bob Cinema, his channel, go comment on his recent video and say, hey, I want to see a Rubik's Cube video, and I'm sure he'll do it. He's got webcam set up and all that kind of stuff. He could do it. He can make a video, like a video of him solving a Rubik's Cube ridiculously quickly. If you guys want to see that, just go to his channel, leave a comment on one of his videos, and then we'll be all hunky-dory. In fact, here's what we'll do. In the video description of this video, he just started a new Let's Play of Fire Red Omega, Pokemon Fire Red Omega. If you're wondering what that is, it's basically Pokemon Fire Red, but it's edited to be way, way, way harder, and have all Pokemon from Generations 1, 2, and 3 included in the game, right? It's actually a really hard version of Pokemon Fire Red. He's doing a Let's Play of it. I'll link the first episode of that Let's Play. You guys go there, go to his video, and comment on that video, as well as maybe subscribe to his channel if you guys like Pokemon Let's Play stuff. But yeah, let him know you want to see that Rubik's Cube video, because I would like to see it too. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I think that the IEDs and C4s should be taken out of any Call of Duty game because they, quite frankly, ruin the game. I would like to know what your opinion is on that. Thank you, Adam from Dublin. So Adam, you're just nail on the head. Good job, Adam. I mean, C4s and IEDs. I mean, C4s are obnoxious. They really are. IEDs are worse. Why are these things in Call of Duty? Why? Just make them go away. I could deal with Claymores, right? I can deal with Claymores. You can jump over them. You can trigger them and run back. You can do some things with Claymores. There's no avoiding an IED. There's no avoiding a C4 sandwich just being chucked at you left and right. You can't do it, right? So definitely remove them both. Definitely. Of any Call of Duty game, I would not want to see any form of a Bouncing Betty or an IED or a C4 in any of those games. I can deal with Claymores. I prefer those to be gone too, though. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, which animal scares you the most? I hate moths, and I think the world would be better off without them. Gareth from Wales. Well, I've never been afraid of a moth. That's kind of weird, right? I'm afraid of bats. Hate them. Despise them. And some people say, like, how are you afraid of bats? I've never even seen a bat. Well, that's because mainly bats will come out at night. They kind of just fly around in the dark, and you can't even see if they're there, right? Well, I've had multiple bats in my room. Have you ever had a bat in your room? They're scary. They flap their rings around really fast. They've got those claws, and they're furry. And I'm trying to keep this episode shorter, but there was a bat that got in my room the one day, right? And it was down in the corner of my room, right? And so I covered up with newspaper and trying to grab it through the newspaper, but I couldn't grab it through the damn newspaper because there's too much newspaper. I couldn't feel the tiny, creepy little bat. So what do? I do what any normal human being would do, and I grab the street sign off my wall, and I start just crushing the bat to death until it finally died. Another time, as a bat was up in my brother's room, and I go up there and I try covering up with some newspaper, and I'm like, I used too much newspaper, so I couldn't, through the newspaper, feel where the bat was at. Right? And so I'm trying to get a feel where this damn bat was, and all the while the bat's crawling underneath the newspaper, and it comes out of the bottom of the newspaper, pops its little head out, looks at me, and screeches, and I was like, ah, shit, they just ran out of the room. I hate them. I despise bats. They are, something about, I hate them. I hate them so much. I cannot stand bats. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, do you read most of your comments, and if so, how do you deal with hate comments? James from Louisiana. Well, James, that's what the block button is for. I block everyone that leaves a hate comment on my videos. Because you don't got something nice to say, don't say it all. And don't try and hide behind the just my opinion bullshit, right? I can understand if it's your opinion. If your opinion is Call of Duty Ghosts is way better than Black Ops 2, just my opinion. Okay, it's your opinion. I can respect that. Modern Warfare 3 is better than any other Call of Duty, just my opinion. Okay, I can respect that. Fuck you, Nero, you fat faggy cracker. No, that's not your opinion. Alright, that's you being a douche. Alright, so I therefore block you. So if there's a fuck you, a Walt Jr., or any kind of comment like that on my channel, you're blocked. That's how it works. That's how I deal with hate. And that's how I think every YouTuber should deal with hate rather than just letting it destroy their lives. Because we get a lot of it. Next question, he writes. Dear Nero, how have you been going with quitting smoking? I haven't heard an update in a while. Keep up the great effort, and thank you for all the videos. Matt from Australia. So Matt, yeah, I guess we haven't done an update on my quit smoking thing. Yeah, still haven't smoked. It's been almost a year now, so everything's still going good on that front. Thanks for asking. Next question, he writes. Dear Nero, have you ever had any pets? And if so, what type of pet was it? What was his or her name? Thanks in advance, and as always, have a wonderful day. This person did not leave his or her name. I've had multiple pets in my life. We had a Great Pyrenees named Buford. That's a dog. We had a Rottweiler named Ben. That was a dog. Then, other than those two dogs, we've had a ridiculous amount of cats. We have a cat named Mr. Bill. We have a cat named Stormy. We have a cat named Callie. We have a cat named Old Man. We used to have a cat named Tigger. We used to have a cat named Smokey. We used to have a cat named Fluffy. We used to have a bunch of cats. We ended up giving them away, though, because our cat gave birth and had like 7 kittens. Yeah, I've had a lot of cats in my time, in my life, and 2 dogs. And I named them all for you. Next question, he writes. Dear Nero, I am a long-time subscriber of yours, and I've watched every single episode of Dear Nero, and I was wondering, what is the closest you have ever come to catching them all in a Pokemon game? Sam from England. Well, Sam, I would say probably not very close at all. not even in the original games. I never tried to catch them all in the original games. I just never did, you know? Pokemon X, Pokemon X and Y is probably the closest I've gotten. I have Pokemon X on the 3DS. And since I've beaten the game, I've done a lot of like trading. I've done a lot of breeding, and I'm just trying to make good teams and stuff. I have a bunch of different Pokemon now. Like I have every single Rotom. I've got all the original starters. Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander. I have all the starters from this generation, from 6th Gen, from the Kalos region. Trying to think, like, and a bunch of just my random favorite Pokemon. Like we got Sylveon, we got Golem, we got Alakazam, we've got. I am trying to remember all these off the top of my head, and it's really not working. I guess I could turn on my 3DS. But I have a bunch of different Pokemon that I'm raising and doing up. I think pretty soon here. I'm working on Hitmonchan right now because those are freaking cool. I've never even come close to completing them all. I don't think I ever will because there's so many Pokemon I just don't care about. And there's also, since there was like kind of a gap for me in terms of playtime in Pokemon, I don't know who half the Pokemon are from the 4th and 5th generation. So that's a thing. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, how much has your channel exceeded your expectations from the point that you uploaded your first video, Killian from Ireland? It has ridiculously exceeded any kind of expectation that I could ever hope or imagine. So for the first few months of my YouTube channel, I would get like 1,000 views per month, and I would have less than 1,000 subscribers, and then suddenly Modern Warfare 3 hit, and suddenly I go from getting like 1,000 views every month to suddenly I have 200,000 views for that month. Then the next month I had 400,000 views. And the next month I had 700,000 views. Then the next month I had another 700,000 views. I was like, what is happening? and then it kind of like steady. There's peaks and plateaus in everyone's YouTube careers, and it kind of stayed more the same for a bit, more in the 500,000 range. Then Black Ops 2 came out, and it kind of got popular again, and then it started kind of plateauing again more towards the 500,000 view range. And then Call of Duty Ghosts came out, and suddenly I'm getting 1 million views a month every single, like 1.5 million views a month every single month since it's come out. It's just ridiculous. My channel's, I guess, finally starting to take off. Maybe. Might be. I don't know. And it feels good that all this time and effort I'm putting in my YouTube channel is finally, the more work I put in, the more it pays off to me. And I like that, And that's my advice to all you guys with your guys' YouTube channels. I get tons of questions about that. And that is just to keep trying. Keep posting videos. And above all, make videos people want to find. Next question. He writes, Dear Nero, do you hunt? And if so, what do you hunt? Sincerely, Chandler from Alabama. So Chandler, I do hunt. It is whitetail buck. I don't hunt doe. I don't hunt turkey. Don't hunt small game. It's mostly just buck, and that's during, of course, buck season. So it's the only time I ever hunt, and I do hunt. So yeah. Next question. He writes, Dear Nero, do you like that the weaponized 115 camo on Black Ops 2 is green, or would you want it to be blue, like when you first saw it in Zombies? Thank you, Jacob from New York. So Jacob, I think everyone was kind of, I wouldn't say disappointed, but definitely surprised when we saw that the weaponized 115 camo was actually going to be green and not blue like it was from the Origin Zombies, right? I think we were surprised, but I don't think we were disappointed, because the green weaponized 115 camo looks fantastic. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, what do you think of the NFL offseason moves, and which is your favorite? Thank you, Christian from Chicago. So Christian, the NFL offseason never disappoints, and my favorite transaction so far was the Texans getting rid of Ben Tate and the Browns picking him up, because the Browns finally have a good running back, and a young running back, and a hard running back. Oh, it's just so good. Ben Tate's going to be so good in Cleveland, I hope. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, can you please tell me what microphone you use? Keep up the great videos. Jordan from Scotland. So Jordan, I am using the Rode Podcaster. It's a USB microphone, kind of expensive, but it's a dynamic microphone, and I like it a lot. Next and final question, he's going to write, Dear Nero, I know that you like Skyrim. I was wondering, do you play it on PC or console? I was wondering what other games that you play are on both PC and console, and to be more specific, what genres do you prefer on each platform? So, basically, if it's a really good single-player game, or maybe a good co-op game, I think it's a bit better on the PC. I don't like competitive multiplayer, like first-person Twitch reflex shooters like Call of Duty or Titanfall or things like that on the PC, because I'm not that good at PC. But to play Skyrim, or to play in the future like The Elder Scrolls Online, or to play Borderlands 2, I can play those on the PC just fine. And then I get, of course, 1920 by 1080, full 1080p graphics with ultra settings and all that great stuff, and it looks fantastic. But I'm not like a detriment to myself or my team or anything like that, because I'm not that good with a keyboard and mouse. So I can still play and still have fun, and it's in a single player or a co-op shooter experience. I like that a lot. I definitely like that kind of stuff a lot. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of Dear Nero. Definitely a bit faster, and I like that. The rapid fire, the quick response questions, I think those kind of worked out. So I hope you guys did enjoy this episode, and let me know if you guys kind of like this format. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. And of course, if you guys like to send in your guys' questions for next week's episode of Dear Nero, simply send me a personal message here on YouTube. Make the title of the message Dear Nero. If it's a good question, an entertaining question, and above all, a question I've not yet answered before, I will do my best to go ahead and answer it. I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode. Remember to rate the video. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.